What up, YouTube? It's All Hustle No Cap. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys 3 reasons why I hate being an Airbnb host. Now, this video is not made to make you not want to be an Airbnb host. I'm simply telling you some of the negative things that you will encounter as an Airbnb host, because I know a lot of times people sugarcoat that shit and try to make it sound good and make it seem like everything's 100% butterflies and rainbows, but that is not the case. So today we're going to get deep into it. But before we get into it, if you like content like this, please don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. And I'll put my IG on here if you're nosy as fuck and you want to see what I be doing in my personal life. So let's get to it. The first thing I hate about being an Airbnb host is that, surprisingly, a large number of people in this world are rude as fuck. Now, rudeness comes in many different forms as an Airbnb host, but some guests are argumentative. They'll want to argue with you about certain rules that you have in place and stuff, which is crazy to me. How in the hell you could reach out to somebody and rent their space and then be argumentative? Like, I don't know why you think that'll fly. A lot of times guests don't follow directions. Like, as an Airbnb host, we have check-in instructions, and they're usually very simple, but they just give all the details to, how to check in, or we'll have checkout instructions, and it's just simple things you need to do before you check out. And a lot of times these guests just do what they want to do and they won't follow the instructions. Sometimes they don't even bother to read the instructions, and sometimes they do and just say fuck it, they're not going to do it. So that's something you can look forward to guests doing. Entitlement, I guess that's a form of being rude. You'll notice that people that rent your house can be extremely entitled, meaning that, since they figure they're paying money for it, that they can request extra things that aren't part of the package. For example, I had a guest get mad at me because I didn't have a potato masher. Now, we do keep all the basic kitchen utensils in the crib. It's like forks and knives and spatulas and stuff like that. But something like a potato masher is something I would consider a specialty tool. I mean, who the fuck goes on vacation with like plans to make world-class potatoes anyway? That shit's weird. And to be honest with you, you'll find they get on your nerves with some of the ridiculous requests that you'll hear as a host, but it's just something you got to be prepared for and try to answer the inquiries professionally. Another thing about these guests, just that falls under the rude category, is they are not understanding. God forbid something goes wrong during their stay. A lot of times they just get irate and belligerent about it.
You need to stop harassing him.
Karen!
Harassing him.
Karen!
This is our property.
Even if it's something out of your control, for example, maybe a drain could clog up, or maybe a pipe could burst. Just anything could happen. A lot of times they are unforgiving about this stuff, and they think just because you're a host, you can make these things not happen.
This is all your fault.
But you guys know, like I do, when shit happens, it happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. And by people always staying in one of your properties, it's just bound to happen. Something will happen, something will come up. Now, a lot of times we'll get understanding guests that say, well, shit happens, and they'll let you fix it. But sometimes these guests get mad. They start trying to demand a refund and just being ridiculous. So it's something to look out for. And a lot of times if they don't get their way, or something goes wrong during their trip, and even if it was out of your hands, they'll leave you a bad review. So these are some things to consider when you think about these guests that you're going to be renting out to. A lot of them will be rude. At least 40% of them will be rude. Hopefully that's like an exaggeration for your situation, but man, people crazy. The second thing I don't like about being an Airbnb host is that guests can damage your shit, and they will damage your shit. It's just something that's bound to happen. Or if they don't damage it, they could steal it. You know what I'm saying? I've had lots of towels walk out of my houses. As far as damages, like, I would say towels are one of the things that get damaged the most. When we get to the houses, a lot of times we'll find stains on the towels that just won't come out. It'll be like red stuff, like juice, sometimes blood. You never know what's gonna be on these things, but it's something to keep in mind when you're renting your place out. Always have some extra towels on deck, because they're gonna fuck your towels up. A lot of makeup on them, just all kind of shit be on the towels. So we always keep extra towels for this because we kind of expect it, but we've had damaged remotes to TVs. I've had somebody break a TV. One time there was a Thanksgiving party and somebody put a hole in the wall. Cigarette burns, weed burns on the comforters. I've had somebody break a door. I've had people break chairs. I had somebody burn my floor. The list goes on and on. People will fuck your shit up. So that's something you definitely need to consider when you are renting your stuff out on Airbnb. And a good idea is not to get too attached to your shit, because everything can get fucked up when you let other people in your house. But the good thing about that is Airbnb has air covers, so a lot of these things you can get reimbursed for. As long as you document it and you send in a claim within like 2 or 3 days after their stay, they'll usually reimburse you for everything, as long as you can get a receipt for what it costs to replace. The third thing I don't like about being an Airbnb host is Airbnb customer service. So one thing I don't like about Airbnb customer service is that if a guest calls in and make a complaint, they'll usually side with the guests without really hearing your side of the story. Lately, something I noticed that they've been doing is they've been sending out these emails with a very, very short response time. They'll give you like 2 hours to rebut whatever complaint was made up against you, but 2 hours isn't a lot of time. They used to give you like 24 hours to respond to it, but I don't know why they went ahead and shorted it. I don't know why they changed it to a shorter time period, but they're only giving you 2 hours. So if you got anything else going on in your life, whether you work a second job or you're taking a nap or you're taking care of kids and you miss it, they'll automatically side with the guest just because you weren't able to respond in that 2 hour period. That 2 hour period doesn't necessarily mean it'll be a convenient time for your time zone. This could be, 1 o'clock in the morning on your time zone to 3 a.m. and you might be asleep. And when you wake up the next day, they've already taken the guest side and you didn't even have a chance to refute what they're saying because you were asleep. Another thing I don't like about Airbnb customer service is that they have obviously outsourced that shit overseas.
Oh, you. No, do not me because I am you and then we would just be ourselves.
And so anybody who's talked to people overseas, like customer service, that sometimes it could be a language barrier, which makes it difficult to express what's going on to somebody who doesn't really understand English as a first language. And you can tell they're obviously reading off of a script because they have a lot of the same answers to no matter whatever you say. So it's a little frustrating when you're trying to explain a complex situation to somebody who doesn't really understand English. They do have some US speakers that you can get connected to, and those are like higher level agents, but the overseas agent kind of acts as like a guard, and they kind of, try to filter out a lot of calls. And I'm sure that's effective for them. But for me personally, I'd rather speak to somebody that can understand what I'm saying, because a lot of times these are very time-sensitive situations that you got to speak to somebody, and you might waste a lot of time trying to explain something that could have been explained only once if you would have talked to somebody that understands your same language. It's not any discrimination against anybody, but it's just real shit. When I'm trying to talk to somebody, I need to talk to somebody who's going to understand and fast, especially if it's about business. I hope y'all found this video, the things I hate about Airbnb, useful. Again, this video is not made to make you not want to be an Airbnb host, but I'm just speaking on some things that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. A lot of times when people are trying to sell you on the idea of being an Airbnb host, they only tell you the good stuff. That's not what we do here. I try to keep it as real as possible with you guys. But to be honest with you, being an Airbnb host is profitable. So, anything worth doing is probably going to have some adversity to it. Now, after all this bullshit, if you still want to be an Airbnb host, I'm going to put my referral link in the description below. I hope y'all found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. And don't forget to follow me on IG. I want to thank y'all for watching. Till next time, YouTube.